There are 9 very angular looking shapes under sheets at Giga Texas. I wonder what those are. Could it be vaporware? Plus, Elon Musk is trolling Mark Zuckerberg hard. And while this might seem like silliness, it actually may be more important than one might think. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. First, a very quick personal announcement. I am going back to my day job, of course, which is teaching, starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. So my daily videos are going to be reduced to probably 2 to 3 times a week. So just a fair warning that they won't be quite as frequent as they have been since I will be back to working full time again. Anyway, it's been a fantastic summer being able to work full time on YouTube and my company. But of course, now my day job beckons. So please be patient with me if you don't see videos every single day. Next up, a tweet from Joe Tegmeyer from this morning. Can anybody help me identify what these vehicles are? All 9 are covered up, so it's really hard to tell. They are in the outbound transportation lot at Giga Texas, if that helps any. So obviously from the shape of these guys, these are Cybertrucks, and this is really fantastic news. It looks like they have some production models. Obviously, they're still keeping them under wraps to some extent, but they are producing multiple ones, and they're going to probably be shipped someplace to be tested by employees to, I don't know, cold weather testing, mountain testing, hot weather testing, who knows what they're going to do. But the likelihood, of course, is that these are production candidates. They are not being shipped to customers because, of course, Tesla is going to make a big fanfare and have some sort of delivery event. But that event might not be that far away. We might be aiming towards September sometime, which was my original prediction for this. So, I mean, I'm just lucky if I get that right. But it'll be really cool to see a delivery date actually pop up, maybe mid-September, something along those lines. And of course, to all those people who said the Cybertruck was vaporware and it was never going to appear in real life, well, there's 9 examples of it appearing in real life. And pretty soon, you too will get to see one driving down a street near you. All right, so let's consider that the undercard. Now on to the main event, which is the cage match between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. I posted this today, and I will leave a link to this in the description along with everything else, so you can vote on it too if you're interested. Is Elon Musk the best troll ever? Yes, of course, duh, and what the heck are you talking about? So if you've been living under a rock, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg have had kind of a, let's call this a rocky relationship for quite a while. They've had many words with each other. And the latest thing that's cropped up, of course, in the past several weeks is that Mark and Elon have gone back and forth about setting up a cage match, sort of WWE jiu-jitsu style. And now it appears it's going to be in Italy at some sort of like Roman type location. And I guess they're going to wear gladiator gear. People will be wearing togas. Who knows? It's kind of over the top at this point. And of course, recently Elon posted publicly that he needed an MRI to determine whether his C5, C6 vertebrae were okay to do this match. If you don't know, this is Elon Musk. He fought a literal sumo wrestler. I think it was around 2011, 2012, and he busted up his neck while he was doing that. So anyway, apparently the MRI came back positive for that. They said, no worries about that. You can go ahead and fight. But there's something to do with his shoulder blades scraping his vertebrae or something. I don't know exactly what. But anyway, it needed some sort of very minor surgery to fix that. So Elon said that, which then put Mark Zuckerberg into a bit of a tizzy. So today, Doge Designer posted, breaking: Elon Musk challenged Mark Zuckerberg for a practice match at his house next week. Here's the conversation between the two. And of course, Elon being Elon, he had to correct this just a little bit. So he said, here is the text of the full message. If you still want to do a real MMA fight, then you should train on your own and let me know when you're ready to compete. This is from Mark Zuckerberg. I don't want to keep hyping something that will never happen. So you should either decide you're going to do this and do it soon, or we should move on. To which Elon replied, I will be in Palo Alto on Monday, which is tomorrow as I record this, today as you will be seeing that, at least if you see it on the first day. Let's fight in your octagon. I guess Zuckerberg has an octagon at his house. That's kind of cool. I have not been practicing much apart from a brief bout with Lex Friedman today. While I think it is very unlikely given our size difference, perhaps you are a modern day Bruce Lee and will somehow win. And then we get a message from Zuckerberg on what I guess is Threads. I haven't taken the time to look. Assuming this is Threads, how much of a copy of X can you get here? I mean, we're looking at a blue check mark that looks just like, I mean, look at this. We got this blue check mark and we got this blue check mark. I guess you have the little, airplane, paper airplane looking thing instead of like the standard, like and heart and all that kind of stuff. So I guess it is Threads, but it's what a copy that is. But anyway, apparently on Threads, Zuck said, I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move move on. I offered a real date. I don't know what that is. Dana White offered to make this a legit competition for charity. Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery, and now asks to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and an official event, he knows how to reach me. Otherwise, time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take the sport seriously. To which Holmar's catalog said he's trying to chicken out, and Elon Musk said he can't eat at Chick-fil-A because that would be cannibalism. So I remember the playground when I was a kid. It was a rough world. It was the 70s in Cleveland, and people would say things like that. Obviously not Chick-fil-A because that didn't exist at the time, but people would say stuff like that and you knew a fight was going to ensue. So Elon is clearly trolling Mark here. And then for the final piece of the puzzle thus far, Elon said, I'm going to bang on his door tomorrow and demand to fight. So yep, we've got two grown men billionaires that are acting like children on a playground and messing with each other and saying, no, I'm going to fight you. No, I'm going to fight you, and all of this kind of stuff. It seems really silly on its face. But one thing you really have to keep in mind here is that Elon Musk is a master troller, which is why I posted that poll in the first place. And of course, why the only answers are yes. So is this silliness? Yes, it is silliness. Is it a distraction from other things? Sure, it's a distraction from other things, just like gladiators fighting in the Roman era was a distraction from other things. That's where the phrase bread and circuses comes from, because you give people food and you give them entertainment and they stop complaining about the real world. Is Mark Zuckerberg trying to act the more mature adult in all of this? Probably. Is Elon Musk being a troll in all of this? Definitely. And finally, in her interview last week, did Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X, have to very carefully step around the whole question of this? Yes, she definitely did. So yes, this is a very bizarre event and probably shows that we're living in some sort of weird simulation where billionaires are threatening to have cage matches with each other. But while on its face this all seems to be very silly and a waste of time, I don't believe it is, at least for Elon Musk. And there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, at least from his point of view, he actually does have some valid gripes with Mark Zuckerberg, and they go back several years. So I think he is actually rather pissed at the whole situation. Second of all, this is a way of drawing a distinction between Threads and X. This is a way of saying, look, we're on Threads over here. We've got this very safe, kind of dull, bland, white bread sort of environment. On X, anything goes, and including him, including the person who is the owner of this company, saying, I'm going to fight a cage match against another billionaire. That's crazy stuff. That's like Wild West sort of things. And I believe to some extent, Elon is pointing out the stark differences between Threads and X. And finally, and I think most importantly, and I think this is something that Elon considers all the time, this is a marketing coup for X. It could be for Threads as well, but who knows what they'll do with it, because if and when this does happen, it's going to be live streamed on X, which means, I mean, they're going to break the internet. There's probably going to be 3 or 4 or 500 million people who are going to watch this if they stream it live on X. And of course, if they set a date like 6 weeks from now or something, I mean, just remember all the big boxing matches and all that kind of stuff. When you have those big events that happen like this, the build up to it, the amount of interest that's going on, he's going to take X through the roof. X could easily get 50 or 100 million new people who actively use it just because of this event. So this is a gigantic benefit for X. This is something that is going to increase its relevance, increase the number of people who use it, demonstrate how raw and fun and interesting it is as opposed to so much other media these days. And finally, just like the Romans, it will be very entertaining. No matter what happens, I'm not quite as confident as Elon that he will just win because of his weight, because jiu-jitsu, judo, things like that, there is a lot of body weight manipulation that comes in. Now, certainly he has a huge advantage with that weight advantage, but that's not everything. But it doesn't ultimately really matter who wins at this. I think it will matter to these guys because, of course, they're not billionaires because they're not competitive, very, very alpha male types. Obviously, they're going to be extremely competitive and they will care who wins. But no matter who wins, I think that X wins. And that's ultimately why Elon feels safe in doing this. And honestly, if they can make a big spectacle of this, if they can do it in Italy, which we all know Elon loves because he's been tweeting about that recently and just was on vacation there. If they can do that, if they can make it really entertaining, then yeah, sure, I'm all for it, whatever. It'll be fun. It'll be entertaining. It'll be interesting as long as neither of them gets hurt. That would, of course, be a very, very bad and sad outcome. So let's hope that neither of them gets hurt. But at this point, I'm actually getting hyped up enough that I want to see it happen because I want to be entertained just like all of you, I have a feeling. And of course, if Elon is thinking the way I think he is, that 4D chess move of making X the place for this event, event. I mean, Threads, sure, but Threads is also committed to this sort of family-friendly Wonder Bread sort of situation. So I don't know that they're going to be able to hype this quite as much as X will, and I don't know if the clientele is going to be as interested. I expect that they will get some bump, but I think that X is going to get the lion's share of that bump. And that means Elon helps his own brand out, and he really, really helps X's brand out. So while there is some danger to their collective health, I think that this is something that will probably happen, at least if Mark Zuckerberg is willing to do it. And at this point, I don't think he could back down if Elon gives a date and a place and everything. And if it does happen, I really do predict it's going to break the internet, and X is going to become even more popular than it already is. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it fun and interesting and thought-provoking. Of course, let me know in the comments whether you think that this fight is going to happen, and if you do think it's going to happen, when is it going to happen? And then also tell me when you think the Cybertruck delivery event is going to be. I'm definitely interested to know what you all think about that. And while you're down there, please do like the video so other people can find it. And of course, consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon, my YouTube channel members, and of course, my X subscribers. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel in any way that you can. And of course, if you want to join any of the teams, just check out the links in the description. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of really cool merch, check out our merch store. Link is in the description. We have TeslaBot t-shirts, the Tesla meme t-shirt, success is a possible outcome, 4680 battery cells. All of that stuff is on t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and on and on. So check it out. And finally, don't forget we are both Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how going shopping for a new Tesla, a solar roof, a power wall, or anything on Amazon helps out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.